There's a beautiful image captured by Anna Brandt. And over here on the left are LSP Harmony Newborn Presets Pro. I am currently in Lightroom Classic, Creative Cloud. These presets are designed to work with the later versions of Lightroom. This flow is going to be the same whether you work in Lightroom Classic, like me, in Lightroom Standard, or in ACR, Adobe Camera Raw, which you can access within Photoshop. So what I'm going to do in this tutorial, I'm going to go through each section of the presets and I'm going to show you how they work and some little tips and tricks you can use while using these. The presets are laid out very much in a start to finish workflow. A kind of build your edit as you go, choosing from each section to build the most perfect image that you can create. They are best designed for using with raw photos, but I'm going to show you this with a Jpeg because they also work beautifully with Jpeg. Raw photos have a lot more pixel data. Jpegs are compressed, so you may find some of these presets look a little perhaps overcooked, a little strong on the effect with Jpeg, but that's totally cool because each one comes with an amount slider, so you apply, slide and go. For quick recipe guides, editing tips and other tutorials, visit lsp-actions.com, go on to video tutorials and click the tutorials for the LSP Harmony Pro newborn presets to see lots of different edits. This video is going to be a little bit slower because I'm just going to show you in depth how everything works. If you are unsure and you haven't installed the presets yet, you can watch the installation videos too over on the LSP Actions website or on our YouTube channel. So let's dive in. Now these presets are going to work beautifully if you have just baby on their own, but I wanted to show you with baby and a parent just to show you some really good tips and tricks you can do when working between different skin tones and textures with these presets. So let's start right at the top, the Darkroom section. To see exactly what each preset does, you can just hover over. So Adapt Perfect Deep is going to darken your image. Perfect Lift is going to brighten your exposure. Contrast Booster will do exactly what it says on the tin, add more contrast. Contrast Soother will calm those tones. Talking of tones, we now have a Real Tones Calmer and a Vibrant Boost. So you can hover over these first to see what it's going to do to your image. For this particular image, I'm going to soothe the contrast down. So I'm going to click Contrast Soother and then you see this slider. So if you slide it all the way up, this increases the amount of preset applied. If you slide it down, it's a calmer effect. So how about we go for maybe around a 70% for this one. I'm also going to calm down those kind of boosted tones in this image. You see, that's quite a strong effect. We don't want to use those looser, gorgeous skin tones, so I'm just going to add a little bit of calming here. Next up, we're into the temperature section. This is your white balance, preset white balances. Of course, you can set your own white balance manually, but you can also hover over these to see these different white balance effects and which one is going to work beautifully for your image. For this one, I think the 6550K works really beautifully. And again, you can slide the amount up or down for all of these presets, even the AI masks I've provided. The light effects, this adds some really cool light effects. You need to give it just a moment to detect your subjects. So we have light behind our subject, the edge is dark. You can de-light, which means taking the light down on the left or the right, or you can relight behind your subject, which gives a lovely halo behind the subject, adds some separation. We can relight from the left edges, we can relight from the left, we can relight from the right. So if you need to kind of balance your lighting out, you can apply any of these presets. Just click and slide. And next up, we're into this huge, beautiful base section. The point of these bases they are kind of handcrafted to give you the perfect editing base. You may find if you don't need to be editing the skin or anything like that in Lightroom, that this base is all you'll need. It's yours in single click. These are the exact look that I've refined in Lightroom across thousands of images over the years. For a soft, clean or consistent look, it's going to give you that real pro polish as a beautiful starting point. It's also going to apply any lens corrections needed. These are your one-click foundations. So you can hover over them all and decide which one is going to look best for your vision. And the cool thing about these presets means you're not battling with sliders and numbers. So you can stay in your creative flow. I love how Lightroom allows you to hover over and see which one you're gonna, it's gonna work beautifully for your image. The bases are the main part of these presets, so have a little look through. You may find you have 3 or 4 bases that you just use every single time. You may find every gallery is a little bit different and you really, really want to go and apply that mood to it. So I'm just hovering through it and you can see how different these all are. For this particular image, I really love the Calm Punch base. Next up, we're in the instant section. This is a bonus that I've put together with you. Any of these presets with the little stars on are using Adobe Sensei AI and the presets. If you come over here on your right, you see this little circle, the masking. I'm going to click on that and that's going to bring up a masking panel. Right now we have no masks applied, so nothing will show, but you will get layers, almost a hybrid between Lightroom and Photoshop with these. So the instant AI, we can hover over just for a moment and it's going to give you these instant whole kind of AI image edits that I've put together for you. The word AI when it comes to Lightroom is a little bit stretched. It uses AI masking. You can still make the settings. So these are settings I've put together for you using special masks such as select subject, details, eyes, hair, background, everything. So you can hover over these ones and decide if there's just an all-in-one instant here that you would really like to use. They're all really, really lovely for this image. I think for this one, let's go for Family Light. And you can also zoom in as you go. And I recommend doing this when editing skin and masks, just to make sure that you're happy with the final look. And as with everything with these LSP Harmony presets, you can slide the effect up or you can take it down, just to get that perfect balance for your image. Now we're into the real masking section, the instant masks. First of all, we're going to start with face. Face brighten, can you see there? It's just brightening the faces up, which is a great way to bring attention to your subjects. Face contour is going to add that contour and shadow and shade to the face. Detail enhancer, let me zoom in to show you this one. Sharpening up the skin is great if your image is lovely and soft and you want to really bring out those modern film style details for your clients. Use sharpened skin. And we have softer face. I'm going to add a little bit of contour and a little bit of detail enhancer to this image. When you're editing newborn and a parent, keep going between the two to make sure you're happy with the effect being applied for both. And in this video I'm going to show you what to do if, for example, it looks great on baby, it may not look so great on one of the parents. I'm going to show you in a moment how you can tweak and edit these really, really quickly. So now we're into the retouch section. This works on all skin. Blemishes soft, blemishes strong. Retexturize, you can layer these up. Soft and creamy, soft and dreamy. You have soft retouch. And then a softy soft, which is really soft skin. Can you see that there? Really glowing. Whole subjects brighten up. And you have a whole subject contour. You can stack these presets. So how about we go for blemish strong for this one? because both baby and dad have these little blemishes on their skin that we're going to soften up. But equally at the same time, we don't want this to be, let me zoom in really close. We don't want this to take all the detail away. So let me just take that one down. You see where we were before Blemish Strong, and Blemish Strong applied at full effect. So I'm just going to keep that somewhere in the middle. But beautiful on baby. If we come up to dad, you can notice that Blemish Strong has actually taken away. It's seen these tattoos as blemishes. It's perhaps softened the skin a little bit much for a guy. So I'm going to show you how you can change that, because we don't want to change it on baby. Baby looks beautiful right now. We just want to bring some of that detail back into dad. So if you're not already, click on your masks. If they look like this, you can just see these image masks here that have been created. Just click the little pull out. And I'm going to come onto the skin blemish reduce, because that is the mask, the preset. If I just turn it off for a minute, if you're unsure of any of these, you can turn them on or off to see. You can see there, that one is the one that looks beautiful on baby, a little strong on dad, because parents and babies have completely different needs when it comes to skin editing. So I've turned it back on, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on subtract. I'm going to subtract with a brush. If you use Photoshop, then this will be a very familiar way of editing for you. I'm just going to take the flow down a little bit, so it's not completely 100% strong on this brush. Made it nice and soft, a feathered brush. And what I'm going to do is just brush this over dad's skin, avoiding baby, and give that just a moment to work. Click into place, and we'll see if we need to go a little bit stronger again, because the tattoos are not blemishes. You may find there's something else in your image that you need to edit these masks on, and that's cool. They're very, very, very flexible. And you can also fix individual blemishes on Lightroom using the remove tool. Right now I like to use the remove tool using generative AI. So I'm just going to click on a couple of these blemishes individually, and then when you're done, hit remove. Now occasionally in Lightroom, when you have used masking, like all of the presets with the stars next to them are masks, and then you go into remove after using the masks, you may find that you have some kind of ghost editing left behind. Not every time, it depends on if your Lightroom is behaving itself or not. So if you remove anything from your edit, say you've got something in the background you want to remove, and you find that there's any ghosting left behind, you can watch my video tutorial on that, my separate tutorial on how to mitigate those ghosts left behind in Lightroom. So now let's carry on with our edit. We're into the detail section. Just going to zoom back out again so we can see both dad and baby there. Edit is looking beautifully soft at the moment and contoured. A real emotional moment bringing that in. Absolutely gorgeous is what we want to achieve for this particular image. And you can watch the other editing recipes too for different blends and tips. So now we're into the detail section. These details add sharpness, bright eyes, glittering iris. They can lighten the hair, soften the hair, just let Lightroom detect just for a moment for those. So for example, hair lighten, I'm going to use that for this one because it's going to really pick out those details in the hair. I'm also going to use Sharpen Pro because I want a lovely, beautiful, sharp finish on top for this one. You can also tone the lips. You can make the lips, you can make the hair warmer, lips brighter, darker, lifted, soothing lip balm. We can boost the tones of the lips for red to peaches. We can rescue any shadows in the image. We can rescue any whites and whiten teeth if adults are smiling. Now we're into the toning section. These are where you can apply specific skin foundations. So Mocha is going to give you that warmer skin tone. Do you see it there? No Mocha. With Mocha. Olive, if you need to take away purples in the tones and add that kind of warmer yellowy kind of tone. And Peach Bright is going to add a beautiful brightness to the skin. For this image I'm going to click Mocha because we want to bring some of those warm tones back. Beautiful warm image. In the other tutorials you can see also how we calm the skin down, fix yellows, purples and reds. Just by hovering over, you have different levels. This image we don't need to fix any reds, but you can see here how they're targeting different levels of reds in the image. You can stack these or choose one. You'll probably find you only need to choose one type of red fix for your image, depending on what reds you're looking at. Now we're into the background. So if I hover over these, you can see the changes. So you can get a black background. We can blur the background. We don't need to worry about that one with this particular image. It's just a plain backdrop. Darkening the background. This isn't going to make it completely black. Just darken it down. So I'm going to go for that for this image. And I'm just going to turn it up a little bit. So as we darken the background, we brought the attention back into the subjects. But you can also make the background lighter. You can soften it. So if you're using a paper background that has maybe some creases or lumps in it, you soften. That works really beautifully. And you can also white the background out. So if you're doing a client shot with a light background that you want to really whiten up, you can use the white background. And next up we're into the manual brush section. These are really great for you to absolutely hone your edit individual image. So these create a brush view a little bit like Photoshop. Burn means darken, cool down, dodge is lighten. Some jaundice brush, so if you have a little area of jaundice in your image that you want to kind of dive in and make a local adjustment on. You have red remove, you can add rosy cheeks, painting them in, sharpen up any areas, a soft smooth paint and a warm paint. So I'm going to here dodge, because dodge is brighten. I'm going to play the dodge brush and nothing is going to happen when you click this. You need to make sure you're on your mask, click the dodge brush, and what's going to happen is a brush will be created for you. And I'm actually going to use this because I want to brighten up Dad's face as well, just so there's a little more light shining on it where he's looking down away from the light that's coming in, because baby's beautifully bright and I want Dad, the light, to be kind of relighting his face a little from this angle. So I'm just using dodge just to bring that bond and story back into the image. And you can see that you just click it and paint. And now we're into the last part of the edit, the finishing section. These finishes, again, you come off the masking. I'm not using any AI. These are human crafted finishes. And they're designed to give you that kind of award-winning pro finish that's going to give your gallery its final kind of cohesive look in your style. We have polished booster, apples. And remember, not every finisher is going to work for every image. You're going to find the ones that work beautifully for your image. And you can just hover over these to see the effect. These include film finishes, polishers and toners. And you can slide that slider up or down like you can with all the other presets to make your most beautiful polished edit. For this image, I think I'm going to go right at the top and have a polished booster. You also have some bonus black and whites right at the bottom. So if you wanted to make a virtual copy, export one colour and one black and white, you can go through these and choose which one is going to be the most beautiful for your image. And again, you can apply the effects stronger or less. So when you're done and you have the effect, let me show you before and after. So here's where we started and here's where we are now. And that's 100% in Lightroom with the Harmony presets. The only thing manually I've done is brush a little of the soft skin effect from his face, just to get that beautiful contrast between brand new soft baby girl and Dad. We don't want to over soften Dads. So now at this stage, what you can do is you can synchronize this edit with the rest of the gallery. I would not recommend synchronizing any personal brushing, any kind of additional hand editing you've done. For example, when we went on the blemishes and we took a little off Dad's face and tattoos. And also when we did a brush and brightened his face up a smidge, I would not sync them across because Lightroom doesn't know, it's not yet clever enough to know that you've applied that brushing to his face. So if he moves in the next image or the next subsequent images, the brushing is going to sit next to his face or in the corner or somewhere strange. So do not sync manual brushing. What you do, you have your original image selected, and then you can hold down Control or Command and select any subsequent images in your gallery, and you hit sync. Make sure you selected everything. Do not select the manual brushes that you have created. For example, the brush dodge, and I'll show you in a moment what happens if you do, but just anything that you've made physical adjustments on with a brush, don't sync them across. So we did, in this image, we did the blemish reduce and the dodge brush. Alternatively, there's another thing you can do. If you did want to sync this across, is you can then edit the mask. I'll show you that in a moment. So we have these edits are applying now to the next image that we're applying them to, and you could select 20 images and apply them to. Lightroom can take a moment to apply because it's got to really think about what you're asking it to do. Hopefully in future this will get a bit quicker, but the speed of this really depends on your processor and how many images you selected and how many masks you're bringing across. But if it looks like it's going to take a really long time, then that's a great opportunity for a coffee break while the computer is doing the work for you. And so now let's take a look and see if the edits have been applied. They have. So now both images have got this cohesive look and feel. Now I did not sync across a couple of brushes, edits that we brushed on, sorry, and one of those was the soft skin. So you can either reapply manually to those images and manually brush, or if you wanted to, let me just select them both again. Always selecting your base image first and hit sync. Now if I do select the burn brush, the dodge brush, sorry, that we added in, and the skin blemish reduce that we manually brushed on, it's only brushing that you need to worry about. And hit replace. Now what's going to happen is you might notice that we have a little bit of ghost brushing going on because Lightroom, anything else you've selected, people, faces, hair, anything like that, Lightroom knows what to do. When you've manually brushed, it's going to bring that brush over exactly as it is. It doesn't know that to apply that somewhere differently, for example, to a different face. The technology is not quite there yet. So if you have done some manual brushing, which I would save until the end of the edit, if you've done some manual and you're syncing it and you notice a weird ghost area in some of your images, I'm going to show you how to deal with that. Okay, so now we have synchronized the edits over, including the manual burn brush and the skin blemish reducer, which we painted a little bit on and off manually. So if I'm going to click on show overlay and click on this, it's going to show you in red where it's been painted. So you can see now, we can kind of see these areas and they kind of zone in with the shape of the last guy. You see we have this big area here that's been taken off. So what I'd do in this case, you can just click on each brush that you've added in manually and you can change them. You can come over and do what you need to do. For brushing, we don't want to auto sync because, you know, you can add auto sync switch for 2 or 3 images together. That's absolutely fine. I wouldn't do that for brushing. So you can come in and you can then change this mask. You can tweak it down if you wanted to. If you notice any weird ghosting or areas like that. And it's the same with our lighten brush. Now, as it happens, Dad's face is in pretty much the same space. The same kind of area, so that has been lightened, but where he's looking down in this image and he's much straighter in this one, you can see its lightening has kind of gone into a little blobby area. So we can add or subtract using brush 1. You can go to erase if you want to take any of this away. And you can hit brush size A or B. It just means you can have 2 different sizes to add any in where you wanted to add it. And you're done. So it just takes a little bit of manual tweaking if you want to add any manual brushwork in. But aside from that, we now have both images matching, both images edited, looking absolutely gorgeous, and this would apply to any images in the gallery you chose. Any settings you chose will come across absolutely beautifully. Just bear in mind, if you've done manual brushing, you will need to manually keep that trend up on all the images you need it to brush on. So I really hope this tutorial is useful for you. You can watch the other quicker tutorials for quick editing recipe guides. Each one contains different tips and tricks to help you get the most out of these presets and to help you learn as you go, with additional education included. They're a lot quicker than this mega long video, I promise you that. Each is a few minutes long. Any questions at all, please reach out to us at hello@lsp-actions.com for support. You can post in our friendly Facebook group, the LSP Actions Editing Group for Photographers on Facebook, and you can ping us a message. Happy editing. I cannot wait to see what you do. Please tag me. Please leave a review if you've got these, because it means the world to me to see what you're doing. Any questions, just ask. I'm happy to help you get the very best out of these presets. If you edit in Lightroom Standard or ACR, you can watch those tutorials as well. The same principles apply when using these presets.